appreciate it. This is our first stream, so we're pretty happy to have you guys on. I fucking love your new single. It's Mata de Mota is the new single, correct?
Yes.
Awesome.
Mata de Mota.
Now I don't. I'm half-sican, okay? So I didn't get the.
Half-sican.
I didn't.
I've actually never heard that term before. That's pretty good. I've only heard people say white-sican, but half-sican, that's.
Half-sican, Chikonki. I don't know. That one's.
Chikonki.
That one's fun and kind of racist. So,
Yeah.
But I didn't get the half that understands Espanol. So I don't know what most of what you guys are saying, but I did grow up on cumbia music and that kind of music my mom exposed me to. So I do have an affinity for it, and I love this type of music and Go Selena and all that.
Yeah.
But Selena's California, man. That's I'm not sure is Hondro. I'm sorry, not Hondro. Is Carlos? I'm not sure where Carlos is. We're gonna look for Carlos.
He said he's on the call, but it sounds like a lie.
Hold on, Carlos is also on now. Okay, I don't know how I let him in. See, just so everyone knows, we had planned on doing it all on Zoom, and then Carlos and Hondro aren't together, so Zoom. What they're so nice and what they do is they cut you off after 40 minutes after having a multi-party stream or multi-party call. So Skype, on the other hand, does not. So it's was it pretty easy for you to get in from your browser? Was everything okay?
Yeah, it was pretty straightforward.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Zoom, I think the thing is Zoom charges you.
Exactly.
So like if you're paying for the service, then you can do whatever you want.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And have you done any of the live streaming yet? Any of the live streaming performances on Facebook or anything yet?
Yeah, we've done a bunch of stuff. Well, when all this stuff kind of started, we did like a bunch of like small shows like on Instagram Live.
Mm-hmm.
And what we did is, because we're all kind of quarantined in different places.
Right.
What we did is we're like, all right, one day you're gonna do something, and one day the other guy's gonna do something, and the next day this guy, and so we kind of took turns just doing our own little shows.
Yeah,
yeah.
But
it's been interesting.
Well, that was the thing about this whole streaming thing, is that everyone found out really quickly what works and what doesn't. And the one thing about Zoom is that they have this crazy what the hell you call it? It's not a noise gate, but it's a filter. Oh, here he is. Hold on. Let me see if I can get him in here. Add people. I want to add.
Boom bam.
Boom bam bam.
Oh, he's there.
Yeah, he's right here.
Hey, Carlos, are you going to be on audio, or do you got a video you want to be on?
I can see his video.
Both.
Oh, is he here?
Yeah, I was able to see his video. Oh, no, he disappeared. Oh, there he is.
Mario's jumping on right now. He's getting
Okay.
Yeah, we were kind of jumping back and forth.
There it is. I got you both. Yes, this is awesome.
Boom.
You guys have no idea how happy this is making me to see and hear, and everyone can see you guys, and everyone can hear you guys. This is amazing. By the way, Carlos, this is my first stream on Twitch, if you didn't know that. So this is all very much fun and exciting.
This is my first time on Twitch, I think.
Oh, good. Wait,
yeah, it's my first time too.
Right on. Well, me and
gotta start twitching.
Dude, so you guys, you're not familiar with the platform at all?
I know. I have a neighbor who I guess he has a pretty popular Twitch channel. I don't know what he plays.
Nice.
He plays something, but he's on it for like 72 hours at a time. Like,
yeah, it
or
gets
something
crazy.
like that.
It gets crazy.
Yeah.
No, it's an amazing platform, man. And I've been talking about it on the podcast and everywhere. And obviously, I'm on Twitch now. But like, it's just this amazing platform where you can really build a true. Amazing community of real fans who actually go out and support, and like they buy the merch, they listen to the music, they show up to your streams, and they want to talk to you. It's just like, have you ever heard that thing where it's like you got to find your 100 true fans? Have you ever heard that?
Yeah.
Where if you find 100 true fans or something like that they'll be able to sort of support your art, and you'll be able to sort of make your way with your fans.
Yeah.
So like
it's like human infrastructure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's sort of something like that where you can sort of build that community, that those like real fans on. I've found nothing but positivity on it. But anyways,
yeah.
Carlos, thank you so much for joining us, my man. We were just talking about you guys were streaming on Instagram before, right at the beginning of this pandemic. How did that go for you guys? Did you enjoy that form of expression?
It was fun, just being able to connect. But there's always a big difference in like playing live and like connecting via internet or social media. It's like it's not the same, you know. You can't feel the sweat and the heat.
Yeah, and the energy
from all the energy.
Yeah, no doubt,
definitely.
Man.
So
that was
it's
like
different.
That was the biggest thing that obviously it's the most obvious thing, dude. Wait a second. Do you live in a house that's almost like a hexagon that like circles all the way around, and like there's like a Carlos? I'm talking to you.
Yeah.
Do you live in a house like that?
Yeah, actually, this is about.
That's the upstairs, right?
This is like a geodesic dome.
Yes, I've been to your house.
This is the downstairs. I'm actually the downstairs.
Is that
right on?
Is that a common kind of design for houses over there? Because I've been to a house over in your guys' neck of the woods that has this like crazy hexagon shape to it. There was this amazing Fender Rhodes this original Fender Rhodes that had like tubes in it. There was like a little band in there that played all the time. Is that not your house?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
It sounds about right.
Oh,
yeah.
dude, I think that we've jammed together in some form or another because I don't know. Are you guys ever heard of Skanks Roots Project or Skanky? He's DJ Joss Skanks.
Joss Skanks.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's
Joss Skanks.
Yeah, man. That's my homie. That's I'm in a band with that dude, and we play like Casa Sorrento all the time. Like,
oh right. Oh, you play with SRP?
Yeah.
Oh, right on.
Easy.
Yeah, I've met you before.
Yeah, man. We probably party.
Yeah, right there at the dome. I bet.
Yes, at the dome.
Yeah,
man.
this is the dome.
Dude,
hazy nights before.
Dude, that place is so like it was just such a cool time I had there. Like I remember my buddy Danny Dredd was like passed out playing the bass. He was just like literally passed out, but he holding time, bro. Like he was like snoring but holding time. It was nuts, fucking nuts. That place is so awesome. I just love the structure and like the actual the sound, like how sound bounces in that house. How like someone could be on the opposite side of the house and someone could almost whisper something and it sounds like it's right next to you. You know what I mean?
No privacy whatsoever.
He's like, I live with that every day, bro. So you guys, are you guys from Salinas?
I'm from currently. I'm the only one who actually lives in Salinas, and the rest of these guys are actually from LA and other parts.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Carlos, you're from Los Angeles, right? And in Mexico?
Yeah, I'm from LA. But we ended up living and transplanting to Chular.
Okay.
Which is the big town of Chular.
Hey.
That's kind of where one of the base camps is.
Okay.
Now some of us live right here in a Prundale area, Salinas, and we're kind of scattered throughout the Monterey County. But we've lived in different places. I lived in Salinas for a bit, lived in LA for a bit. Yeah. And now I'm here in this little bubble.
And then we have a Ponguero that lives in Fresno.
Oh, nice. Man, that is so cool that we've probably hung out and jammed together. That's fucking rock and roll. So I was just curious, like, what was your guys' trajectory before this pandemic hit? Like, what were your guys' plans for 2020 as a band and personally?
We were actually in the middle of planning a tour, like right before this happened. We were like having like meeting after meeting about, all right, we're gonna go to, and then we already had like a few dates booked. Like we were gonna head down to LA, and then I think to Mexicali, and then Tijuana, some other places. Yeah, and then going to, so we had this whole tour planned, and then Modesto with our homies Valley Wolf and all that, and all of it postponed like little by little. We started hearing the news, and like everybody else, we had to start canceling and redoing our plans, and yeah, it was a shame. But luckily, we were able to bounce back from it. We had some music videos in the works that actually ended up turning into different projects that we were able to mold into the format of this pandemic. So, it's been a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, a challenge, but we've been pivoting now, right? As far as the touring and like Andro said, a lot of stuff got canceled, but we had some songs that we were about to release, so we just kind of shifted and used our resources, like different artists that we have and different friends that we know. We kind of got them into collaborating and to help us make kind of different music videos, because we can't, we got to follow social distancing,
Yeah.
We wanna stay safe. So we kind of had to pivot a little, but yeah, we ended up making that little video game. I don't know if you got a chance to play it. It's downloadable on app stores.
That's a video game? Oh, hey, what's up, Mario?
Oh, what's up, Mario?
Mario Cortez.
I was in the wrong place. I was in the
in the Zoom
chat room.
Oh man, my bad, man. Carlos.
He was on party line. He was like, "Hey, who's in this room, fool?"
It was pretty fun. I didn't want to leave, but I was like, "All right, fine."
Hey, Mario, man. Introduce yourself, man. What do you play?
My name is Mario Cortez. I'm one of the chorus boys, and I play the guira.
Okay, nice.
And the chorus boys.
Hey.
Yeah,
this guy's got it.
Yeah, you got it, bro.
Well, we were just talking about.
You're gonna take your job, Mario.
We were just talking about what you guys had in the works before the pandemic sort of hit. So you guys were able to sort of refocus. I think that's what a lot of people were able to do. A lot of artists I saw were sort of, if they weren't like freaking the fuck out and be like, "Oh my God, the world's ending," they were like. They went into hardcore, like refocus and let's go forward. It's been actually very inspiring to talk to people over the course of this pandemic, because everyone has been very like, I had the moment of like freaking the fuck out, and then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna keep working and focus on that. And there's a lot of amazing art that's being created right now because of nothing else to do other than to sit there and create. I love your guys' Mata de Mota video. That shit is so cool. I love this song. I was telling Jandro before you guys got on that I'm half Mexican, but I got the half that doesn't understand Spanish, so I don't know what most of what you're saying is. But I love it, and I grew up with the music, and it's fun to see that, and like, so I'm pretty sure that you guys were pro weed with this video, but like Mata de Mota, that translated roughly into what is that? Is that killer weed, or is that?
No, it's like a stalk of weed.
Stock of weed. Oh, okay.
Yeah, like a rama.
Ah.
Yeah,
Mata means a plant. So.
Right. But yeah, that's right. Okay.
But it does have that double connotation, which also means matar, which is kill.
Okay. Hey man, you got a.
Both.
Hey Mario, you got a lot of echo. Do you have anything on in the background? Like, do you have the stream on in the background or anything?
Oh, it's because I'm partly like I'm right next to the guy. We're in like.
Oh, you guys are in the same room together.
We're in the same building.
Okay, right on. It's all good. We're gonna make this work. It's all good, guys. Who made?
You were talking about the Q sticks, you know.
Yes, exactly. You can hear them everywhere, anything, everywhere, at all times. It's like 3-dimensional sound. Like, how does? It's insane. I love it though. That like I remember me and my the bass player for SRP when we were at that place was like, oh my God, I'd love to record something here. We weren't sure what we would record there, but like we wanted to record something that might have been like a louder noise and record it from the other side of the room and just see what the sound of the room did to whatever sound we were trying to capture, because we were just so interested. And it's nerd shit, man. It's fucking nerd shit.
The wood paneling, bro. The wood paneling
it's
like
amazing.
Very beautiful. Like sounds is really nice, you know.
I see you got no duels. Are you not a drinker?
Bro, I gotta keep it under control, my friend.
I'm the same. Hey, man. Hey, let me tell you something. My music career started when I stopped drinking. So that was around 30. I stopped drinking and I was able to function as a musician, and then I started working, which is fun. So this is something that you've struggled with, Carlos?
I think it's just about control. Like we were just talking about this in another interview. Like you gotta kind of know. Right now it's a hot day, but there's things I want to get done. I don't want to get all fucking too relaxed. So it's about keeping the balance, keep
drinking.
things good.
So it's not so much a problem, more as like I gotta get shit done, bro. I can't be hammered by 1 in the afternoon.
Well, I mean, it's just control, knowing yourself. I think once you get to know yourself, what you're capable of doing, and like you said, at a certain age, you're like, hey man, I gotta kind of mellow down on the getting too crazy and then just focus. Yeah, and that helps.
Yeah,
especially with us that we're playing like super party music.
Right. I
mean,
mean,
all their shows are usually like pretty up tempo environments,
and people are just like, here's another drink, and here's another drink, and here's another drink.
Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, how am I appreciate the drinks, but how the fuck am I gonna play the songs, bro? Like, we gotta work this out.
Honestly, that's one of the biggest like struggles of like one of the biggest, but one of the main struggles of like being a musician is like you're playing in a party environment, but you have to remember that you're not there to party. Like you're there to entertain. So like you have to be like exciting, but also like conscious of what you're doing. So in your right mind. Right. So like you can't go.
You're driving the party bus.
Yeah, you're driving the party bus.
You
can't turn around and be like, hey.
Yeah, we're not crashing into the side of the mountain, man. We gotta keep it going. Oh man.
Yeah, those people are like, wait, who's driving?
Have you guys had any rough experiences having a little too much fun before shows?
Oh yeah, every show.
All you guys just looked off like, So
definitely, bro.
So with the band, you guys, the band's been around for a while, right? Like, and can you say the name of the band? I have no idea, like, because again, the half Mexican of me doesn't understand Spanish. Can you say your guys' name for me, please?
It's called QienSave.
Thank you, Reina. You were right. Thank you so much.
Reina got it.
Reina. Oh my God.
Reina got it.
Oh my God. I am
She
just
is
terrible.
the queen.
She is the queen. She is my queen. But anyways, so the band's been around for a while, correct?
Yeah. It actually started out as a project with Carlos here. Carlos was the original constituent.
Okay.
Yeah, it was like a singer-songwriter project. I kind of just went around doing like a lot of open mics, just kind of writing tunes, and then little by little it just kind of started growing. Getting different collaborations, and it just morphed into this.
Yeah. Well, what was sort of the precipice that sort of pushed you to add more members and like get a band together?
I just like collaborating, man. Like I'm an artist. I collaborate with different artists constantly, and I'm just always working in different art forms. And in this one, me and Jandro kind of met, and we just kind of started like throwing it. Me and Jandro just kind of kept going at it. And then Mario came in and out, and then my other brothers came in and out. But me and Jandro kind of just steadily been keeping up like the collaboration and just kind of putting things in and out for the music as QienSave.
Oh, I mean, so you guys decide. So have you guys been? How long have you guys been like actively like a band and like touring and recording?
This band that we have right now has only been together for like around like five years or something.
Oh, okay. So you guys got some mileage under you. Okay, and you guys travel a lot, correct? Like you guys tour a lot, or do you just cover a big space?
Well, we try to stay within the circuit of here in California. So we go like up to the Bay Area, like every now and then right here in our hood, like Salinas, Monterey area, and then LA. And then we try to just do that circuit over and over again. Yeah. And then whenever we get a chance, we've gone to Mexicali, and we've gone to Yuma. We went to Mexico City a few times.
Nice.
And then we
try to make that journey. We try to make the journey to Mexico at least like once a year. If things are good, this year it's kind of been postponed, but
why do you
everything that's going on,
No, I'm so sorry. Why do you guys make that journey every year?
Oh, because we love Mexico, man, and then we have that we kind of visit, and also we like to play shows there. We try to out, more and more.
Mm-hmm.
And little by little, we made it all the way to Mexico. We've gone all the way to Colombia, and so we're just like stretching the legs, bro.
How do you end up in Colombia?
Pablo Escobar.
Pablo dropped a line like, I need y'all down here now.
Somebody put bags over our heads, and then they were like, "Fucking shut up, get in the back of this van."
Get in bed, stupid.
And then we were in Colombia.
No,
we actually have a friend, actually a reggae artist from out there, a reggae band that's been around, one of the pioneers in reggae in Colombia. He's a friend of ours, so we linked up with them, and we were able to set up a tour out there. So it was pretty cool. Definitely a great experience.
What's the name of that artist?
Alerta Camarada.
Alerta Camarada.
What is it?
Alerta Camarada.
Oh, wait. He does a lot of different. Isn't he originally from like Europe or something? Or he's from Colombia? He lives in Europe or something? I'm wrong.
He does do a lot of European stuff. Like he's like done a lot of the like Sunsplash stuff. He's like connected with Europe, but I don't think he lives out there.
Okay, I think I'm getting somebody mixed up.
Yeah, he travels a lot. Like he's constantly touring in Europe and different parts of Latin America, and he makes it up here too. But those guys are worldwide, man.
Yeah.
They're basically like the reggae ambassadors of Colombia.
Oh, okay, right on. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you guys, with this last album, it's the last album that you brought in a producer, right? Am I correct, or is it the current? I'm sorry. Because you guys worked with. Because I think I've heard of. I saw something on here. I'm looking through my notes, guys. Just give me 1 second. Oh, Sam Pura. Sam Pura.
Yeah.
Now, is that the same Sam Pura out of San Francisco, out of Panda Studios?
Yep, that's him.
Okay, cool. All right.
He's actually based in Fremont.
Oh, okay, my bad. Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I have
But
heard
Mayor,
of
yeah.
your cat before. So he's
Man.
he's done other he's done like bigger productions and stuff, right? Like he has like
Yeah, man.
He has some credits. He has some credits.
His claim to fame is the story so
100,000
far.
sold records, and all this stuff.
How did you guys link up with him?
We have a friend who plays in a band called Gardens. It's a hardcore band here in Salinas, and
Jacob. Shout out
his
to Jacob right there.
Yeah, Jacob Juarez, Chago's nephew. So he plays in a hardcore band, and his band. So Sam was like kind of like leasing part of his studio out to like freelance producers. So they were recording some of their stuff over there at his studio. And he linked us up with the cat that they were recording with there. And then from that guy, we met Sam just from being there. And then we became best friends with Sam. So ended up recording with him.
It's interesting.
Well, actually, we were just hella like he was enjoying the sounds. He has like a split studio, and we were on one side, and then he was recording on another. And like,
yeah, he was actually recording the newest Story So Far record on the other side.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
That's interesting because like, was this the first time he ever crossed over into like Cumbia?
Yeah.
Okay.
As far as I know, this is his only like Latin project like ever. He's like like the day we got there, we were there and we asked him if we could rehearse in the studio for a little bit. So we were like there rehearsing, and then he shows up. And he's like, "Man, are we gonna win a fucking Latin Grammy or what?"
Oh, dude, no, I really dig like what you guys are doing with your visuals. I like what you do. Like again, I wish I could understand more, but like I like that you're taking this the vibe I get, that the Urbana or the Cumbia Urbana. I think that's what you guys are saying. That urban Cumbia thing, kind of taking it and making it not grimy. I'm not saying grimy, but like making it a little bit more. I mean, not that it need. Yeah, exactly. A little bit more rough.
Yeah, basically just adding the flavors and inspirations that we have, from like funk, rock, reggae, ska, everything is kind of like mixed in with the roots that we've been raised with.
Right. And like I think I read Wasted Noise, right, Jandro? You've played with Wasted Noise before.
I filled in. We wasted noise a few times. Yeah.
Okay.
But they're just super homies of ours. Like we're all like
yeah.
We've all been friends for years. Carlos used to live with one of the members actually.
Okay,
Yeah, well, he's a cousin. He's a cousin.
Oh, yeah, he's
like
a cousin.
I live with that guy, and then like after living, we like started talking about like where our parents are from and shit, and like little by little, we made phone calls and we're like, hey, you know this guy's grandpa? And he was like, yeah, I know that guy. And then I talked to my dad, and then it's like, oh shit, we're cousins.
No, my dad. You know, my dad said he's like, I used to fight that guy. They used to fight each other. Our parents used to
his
fight
pops
each
and my
other.
pops they used to fight when they were kids. It was funny.
It's small world, man. Small world.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, like we're in this weird time right now, and you know, like there's a lot of obviously a lot of social unrest, and I don't know how you guys feeling about what's going on right now? I mean, anything.
It's like just like you were talking about how just the pandemic in itself created like a challenging moment for artists to kind of grow and develop new ways of connecting. Like I think all this time is like a time of change, and it's like a pivot.
Yeah.
So it's happening and things are changing. I have to kind of like see what's happening and be a part of that change, kind of like help bring it forward, you know, as best as we can.
Yeah, I think part of what's going on is that like this whole COVID-19 bullshit kind of like uncovered a lot of flaws that like a lot of flaws that a lot of us already knew that were in our system.
Yes.
But some people just kind of like chose to be blind to them, and now that everything's kind of like out in the open, something like police brutality is a lot more visible for a lot of people. So it created like twice the backlash as it would in a time where there wasn't a pandemic. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that's why this like civil unrest has been going on for so long, and why this movement has been like going on for so long, like right now. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, totally.
I think it's good. It's good. It's good and it's bad and
what's
it's
bad?
all around.
What's bad?
It's exciting.
It is exciting. What's bad? What's exciting about it?
What's bad is I guess the violence, but not just the violence, but the fact that a lot of people are choosing to focus on the violence that's happening right now that they're seeing on TV, rather than the violence that has been occurring for over 400 years. You know what I mean? Of oppression.
And by the way, the violence that our country commits on other countries all the fucking time.
Since the inception of this country, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of the crazy part.
Yeah.
But I think that this is kind of like a good time to reflect and really see that, you know, like the hour glass has kind of broken, and people have like really kind of grasped onto that and really are showing that. So we'll see, man. We just got to stay safe and really, you know, keep supporting the people, you know. So.
Yeah.
It's kind of like watching think about it like a sweater, you know. You get a nice little cardigan that's like sewn together, and you get a little piece of it caught on a twig or something, and it pulls a little thread, and then you just keep poking at that thread, and like you're watching that thread just kind of unravel that sweater little by little, and like the more you pull that thread, the hole gets bigger, and I think that's kind of partially what's happening right now. I mean, I feel.
Yeah, totally, man. I mean, like if you look at it, our economy's in the shitter. You know, like we have dead people of color in the streets, and it's there's social unrest. And the most fucked up and infuriating part to me is that the stock market is fucking soaring right now. Like, what does that say to you guys? What does that say to you?
I don't know. We're actually talking about that. I was talking to Carlos about that. We're like yesterday, like. Some stocks went up like 11%. It's like that's kind of like unreal. I don't know what that's all about, but yeah, pretty weird. And sadly, we're broke, so we have nothing to do with that.
No, there's something that I saw where like because I might be wrong, but like there's something to where like when the market is undervalued is when it's under 115%, and when it's overvalued, it's over 150%, which means that like which means that there could be an extreme crash.
Yeah.
And right now it's at like 155, 160%.
Right.
So the market's way overvalued right now for some reason.
Yeah.
You know, whereas it crashed like just a few months ago, it was close to crashing a few months ago or whatever. So
how do you guys think that? How do you guys think that people perceive that notion that the country's on fire, everyone's unemployed, 40% of small businesses aren't coming back after this, and they see the stock market flourishing? What do you think that? What kind of signal do you think that sends to people, or what kind of signal does it send to you?
I think you just gotta pay attention. Like like a musician. We're always looking at patterns and following patterns and seeing kind of what's coming next.
Yeah.
And like be intuitive in a way. But like if you look at history, I'm sure that there's a lot of commonalities of things that are going as far as the market and like the unrest that's happening. Also, like you got to understand. I mean, I don't mean to get all crazy political, but
no. This is
also
where I'm
a
going
military
with
industrial. Okay, yeah. So this is a military industrial complex, that we've been feeding into, and like violence only creates more ammunition being used, meaning that a lot of businesses that are umbrella businesses that have big companies, they're creating a different type of money, and a different type of numbers going up in their sense. So I could see like how any war creates a lot of benefit to some people who are taking advantage of that position.
Yeah. To me, it just kind of it symbolizes like strongly the disparity that exists in the country. Like as poor people get poorer, the richer people get richer, and that's that's just fucked up. That's the stratification that we live in, and that some people choose to not like witness, just like some people choose to believe that racism's not real. Like, it's bullshit.
No,
I think also, as musicians, we've seen it kind of like through gentrification of some neighborhoods. Like we've played at, I'm sure a lot of musicians have seen this. They play like at some bar that at some point was still cracking and had like a family vibe, and then eventually they got bought out, or the rent was kind of like raised up to the point where they couldn't do it. And then you lose that venue or you lose that position in that spot. And that's kind of an example of partly what's been happening for a long time in this country. And just people are kind of upset about it,
Yeah. Yeah. No, I heard this guy say that really resonated with me is that a national budget says a lot about a nation. Where people allocate their fund, where a nation allocates its funds, says a lot about it. And so what we're seeing right now is that our funds are allocating to keeping these huge corporations, their pockets lined just fine, while we are here with the scrap. Oh, they sent us $1,200. Thanks. Fuck it, but also like our community just lost its barbershop, it lost its local grocer, it lost its, we lost so much of our local economy over these last couple of months. I don't know, man. Like it just seems to me that, it's hard to say because people are burning shit down and I get it. And they want to burn down this corporate structure that's sort of holding us down. But then they have their phones out. They want us to end slavery here in America with the prison system, but we're holding these phones made by slaves in another country, filming it all. And when you see all these protesters with their phones, I mean, I'm not trying to say there's not a genuine movement here, but I'm not sure if it's, and I'm not trying to say anything incendiary because I am behind this completely, but I'm not sure if we're gonna be able to take this one home, like the last time Black Lives Matter, because what happened after that? Cops got some body cams, but nothing really changed. So I don't know. I mean, I feel like if we really want some kind of change, we gotta figure out where our money's going, who these elected officials are that are making this money go to the wrong neighborhoods. And we need to figure out what the fuck we're doing wrong with it, because we constantly deny the underserved communities in this country, constantly. And it's constantly these redistricting that these fucking politicians do to move votes around and to allocate funds to their buddies in their towns. It goes from local all the way up. And so I think what sucks about all of this is that everyone's mad about Donald Trump talking shit, and he is saying incendiary shit. He is a piece of shit. But it's the same fucking people out there with their iPhones marching in the streets who fucking on election night stayed the fuck home.
I think
I'm not saying that Hillary.
Thing is that,
please.
No, I was just gonna kind of say that, like that's one of the biggest things is that, like, it's the people that are in power are not our people,
Yeah.
are not the color that we see in our country, and that's one of the biggest issues that sadly I think is just gonna take time for our people, whether it's Asian American, Mexican American, African American, to get those spots, to really work hard and take over those spots, because that's what's going to take. When our people are there making those decisions, they're going to make decisions for us.
Right.
And that's one of the biggest issues.
Yeah, and I think that's where a lot of the racist idea comes from, is that, people of color don't really get a say because it's not an opportunity that's afforded to a lot of people of color. We got a lot.
Well, the system isn't set up to work for us, like to work for anybody that's oppressed, because this country was already built on infrastructure like that was completely fucked up. The infrastructure of slavery, the infrastructure of like oppression, of the bracero program, like we've been like exploiting people of color for so long that like we're still dealing with like, what do you call it, like the
we're still dealing with the
reparations,
trauma,
yeah,
the scars, and also like the problems that weren't fixed. It's like there's a really good book like that Howard Zinn. It's called The People's History, and like if you read that, like this is kind of the evolution of the history of America. Like we were under turmoil from the queens and shit over here, and then eventually riots had to break out because people were tired of the injustice, and it's just the base of what this was built on. So because nobody's paid attention to that.
Which chapter is that on?
I don't know, like, but yeah, it talks about like the history and how it's been built upon people's backs, and when that starts hurting, it causes riots and a lot of turmoil. So like this is a part of the change, trying to hide the dirt under the rug comes out.
Yeah,
eventually
absolutely.
It comes out, and like
please.
I think maybe everybody should just read this shit.
It's a great book. I absolutely suggest everyone to go read that book. Now, do you think? I mean, when you look at the media right now, I get the sense that most of America is full of just racist people who fucking don't want to see people of color come up, and they want to keep them down. I mean, do you feel like most of the citizens of America are racist and just have hatred for people of color?
I think there's for sure a lot of fucking completely racist people in the world, but also what I think there's more of. There's a lot more people that buy into that old school notion of colorblind racism, where they're choosing to just not see like disparity. They're choosing to see the world through like these lenses where everybody's equal, when that's just not the case. And I think that's a bigger problem. Like not to say like fucked up, but white people who believe that there's no white privilege, and that they don't have, and that just choose to not see their privilege, and to just think that racism doesn't exist. Like that's just as bad as being a racist. Because then you're ignoring the problem, and you're allowing for those people to continue to be in power and to continue to oppress.
Well, I mean, would you agree that the overt racism of like the 1960s and even the 80s, do you think that's still something that's fully strong? That's still in, because that's the vibe I'm getting. I'm getting that that we're still living in. Please, no, and I'm playing devil's advocate.
It's exactly still there. I mean, us three, we definitely are connected to the educational system. And if you really follow the education system, like think about that, like those kids end up being the adults that we see today. And if those kids aren't trained with how to deal with emotional situations, how to deal with their community situations, they're going to grow up to just reactionary ways of thinking, meaning I'm feeling emotional, I'm going to do this. So it goes back even to the education system. And it's like you said, how the money has been allocated. And so far, the education system has not got the sufficient amount of funds to even help educate or support certain people who need the support. And those people end up getting into trouble. And then you know, that goes even deep to like prison pipeline if you really want to get into that and if you really break that down.
Right.
Like
No.
it's ways that they manipulate education and tracking in order for ways of guiding certain people into certain choices. A perfect example is your phone. You know, think about Google. Like when you put food, it'll give you all the choices that you may have. So system kind of in place on that to people. It all goes back in education system, you know. And if you even break that down, it goes back to like the racist thoughts of the 60s and the 50s. And it's all just problems that have never been treated right. They've just put a Band-Aid on, or let's take the problem and move it somewhere else. And eventually that problem is going to have to be dealt with, you know?
Eventually
it's kind of like how we went. It's like how we went from slavery to segregation, and then from segregation to the prison system.
Yeah.
Like
that's basically it.
There was no solving there. There was no problem solving. It was just kind of removing a problem or finding ways of covering holes with other holes.
Yeah, man. No, I think you're exactly right there. I mean, we don't invest in these communities. We let schools crumble. We let schools crumble. We let cities crumble. We let neighborhoods crumble, while we have other neighborhoods who are getting the funding, who are getting. I mean, I'm gonna hate to see what the fuck happens after all this is said and done. You know, like after the riots are over, and you know, when the market really does start to balance out and start to like the market's I'm pretty sure the market's going to reflect the disparity, you know, not right now. It's looking great right now, but you know that you can't have your whole working class 40% of them be out of work and still maintain this really high level of the market. It's just not possible. And I don't know anything about money. It's not like I know what I'm talking about really, but it just, you know, it makes sense to me. And that's what we saw in the past. I mean, we've seen this in the past, and that's kind of where I'm getting my thought process. But what do you guys think? Okay, so what do you guys think? What do you guys see for the future of performance? And as we're starting to open up here, have you guys gotten any calls for any live performances yet? Are you looking forward to that? Is it something you want to jump back into?
I getting all our Mad Max gear ready for like that when we go out there.
You got your mask and your.
We're gonna be playing on the back of like a fucking of like a semi fucking driving through the desert and shit.
Headbanger.
Yeah.
We're gonna be performing with chastity belts. So.
Oh shit. Oh man.
No, I just hope, like, I honestly don't know. Like, I don't want to say because I don't know. But what I'm hoping for is that like independent venues don't take like a huge hit. Like, I really hope a lot of the venues that because there's a lot of places that we love to play that are really supportive of underground like bands and shit. And like, I really hope that system is still in place and those venues are still open and still supported by the people. Because if it becomes a thing to where it's either like we either play at dive bars or the Oracle, like it's gonna be completely fucked up.
Right.
I just really hope that doesn't happen. Like, at least not too much.
Yeah, I think a lot of we've already had a lot of losses just with like the shifts in like rent prices going up and stuff. And I think we have to really those venues, you know. Not only that, but bands. I'm sure there's a lot of bands that like if they don't have, some people just make their income just off performing live, you know, and selling merch. So like right now is a good time to support your bands, you know. Go to their merch pages and their band pages and buy stuff directly from them. That's the best way to help them. Yeah. And venues, when they open up, try to support them because like there's already not a lot of venues to play in. So if we lose more, it's gonna become difficult. Mad Max shit.
Were you guys? Because right now we're looking at this weird time in the country where like we had all these riots and stuff, and we're seeing that, like, you know what? Forget about the riot part about thinking about it, but I'm talking about the pandemic itself. Did you guys feel like that this pandemic may have been overblown, or do you guys have a real fear of what this disease could do?
Well, it's a tough one because
we ain't got no PhDs.
Yeah, I understand.
No, I think that the numbers are gonna tell how crazy it gets, especially right now that everybody's kind of basically
out and about,
shoulder to shoulder to each other.
Right.
You know,
yeah.
This is gonna be kind of like the truth about it all. You know, whether or not it is real and it is something serious, we're gonna notice it with the numbers. You know,
exactly.
And if the case comes that it's like no one gets sick, then
we're gonna be like,
Well, another thing too is like for me, we were recording this last year in October, and me, Willie, and even
all of us,
Sam Pura, we got super sick with like a crazy flu. Put us out for 2 weeks. My brother got like pneumonia and shit. So after getting that shit and then hearing about this happening in China, I was like, man, I don't want to get sick no more. Like that was bad. Like I died for like a week and a half. Like, no, literally, like, I fell asleep on a Monday, and I woke up on, like, Thursday, Friday, because like, my brother was, bro, you all right? And I was like, I'm all right, bro. I was just taking a fucking nap. What the fuck? They're like, no, bro, you've been gone for, like, 2 days. So, that's good. Yeah, like, you were dead, bro.
Like, oh, man. That
really gave me something to think about, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, no, like there was a lot of people saying that around here, and even my son, which I think that had some weird coughing thing where he wasn't, like he had fever, and it was like unlike anything we've ever seen. It was some kind of flu thing, but we were just like, I don't know. And it's just so weird how the disease works in the first place. Some people are affected, some people they were saying that George Floyd had coronavirus. And he's just walking around asymptomatic, fucking just spreading it and like not knowing. So, I liked your point that you said that we don't have PhDs here, and to know what's going on and how deep this is would be, we don't really know, but I don't think they do either.
All we can do is be careful.
Yes.
Yeah, be cautious, and just take those measures because it's like you said. When you're dead, you can't come back alive unless you're Carlos.
Carlos rises. So then, what are you guys' plans then after this pandemic? And hopefully, we still have venues to play in. Like, what's your guys' plans? What do you guys want to do once we're getting back into this?
Just get back to business as usual. I mean, we're still releasing music. We're gonna be releasing a new song, I think in a few months, and then luckily, like Carlos said, we were recording before all this happened, so we actually recorded our whole like new EP that we're gonna be putting out next year. So we have all that music ready to go.
Hell yeah.
So we're just gonna be releasing little by little, and then hopefully when we get back to playing again, we'll have a whole fresh set of music to play for everybody. So.
And we'll be putting out content. We got music videos coming out. We have that game. We put out a video game for Mota, and so there'll be stuff that we'll be putting out every like 8 weeks, give or take. So just keep us posted, and then once we're out there, we're ready to make people dance, man.
Hell yeah! No, that Mota video is so dope. How did you guys? Who came up with the concept and who animates? Like what is that? How did that happen?
So that was a collaboration with our homie 8-Bit Rafa. You guys can look him up on IG and Twitter, I think.
He's on Twitch too, I think.
Oh, nice. What's his name? Say it again.
Yeah.
8-Bit Rafa.
8-Bit Rafa.
8-Bit Rafa. Okay.
He's a local artist. I've collaborated with him for a while, and he got into game developing. So we kind of shot around an idea about a video game, and then eventually the universe kind of just made it happen with all the things that kind of just went down. Yeah. It kind of became what it became, and instead of a music video, what he did is he took pieces of the actual game that we produced, and he just kind of piled them to create a music video.
Oh, okay.
And all those you see are actually parts of the game that you could play.
Oh, that's actually genius. And like, what way to save like a shit ton of money with animation? Like, you're already paid for the animation for the game. Why not? Shit, hold on, guys.
That's not good.
I have a sound pad with sound effects right next to me that you guys can't hear, and my elbow's hitting it every once in a while. And you guys remember the Scat Man? I'm the Scat Man.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Because I'm a child, I have that sample on my sample pad, and my elbow hit it.
Nice.
And so randomly, anybody watching the stream right now just got beep, ba, boop, ba, ba.
At least it wasn't the fucking
and-
it wasn't the air horn. I thought you were gonna be like, oh, that's dope.
I just did it. Don't worry. When you listen to the audio version of this, the air horn will be in there.
Right
I
on.
think, maybe.
I
No, maybe
look forward to it.
I don't think it will, actually. No, it's not. Never mind. The air horn will not be in the audio version. I'm still working this whole fucking thing out.
Can I request a sound?
But what is your sound, though? I do want to know. What would
I
it
don't
be?
know.
Don't tell me farts or
Good
something. It's like
A tiger roar.
More like the paletero bells. Ding, ding, ding,
ding, ding, ding. A bunch of little kids will start running at me like, hey.
Yeah.
No, it would be the dude in the city, tamales,
Hell
oaxaqueños.
yeah. Everybody come running. So the game, like, tell me about this game, because I didn't even realize that it was a game. So how do you do it? Like, where do you got to go to download it? Because I'm gonna.
Oh, it's a mobile game.
Oh
Yeah.
Oh, tight.
Yeah, so you can go to the App Store, either the Google App Store or the Google Play or the Apple App Store, and you just type in Mata de Mota, same as the song, and it should pop up. And it has the little characters are us, and then the other band that we did the song with, Tropa Mágica.
Oh yeah, tell me about those guys. Who are those cats?
Tropa Mágica is they're a tropical punk band from LA.
Nice.
So, they do like, they're basically like a punk rock band, but they do a lot of like they do like tropical rhythms. They do like cumbia and then kind of like reggaeton,
Psychedelic, tropical.
psychedelic rock. Yeah, it's like they're crazy guys. But
They're crazy.
Definitely drop shrooms. Eat some shrooms before the show, man. That's
Yeah,
big show to
they're
drop
fucking-
shrooms in.
they're nonstop. But they're good friends of ours. We've been doing shows with them for a while. We used to play with their old band with the Commons, so we've known those guys for a good while. And yeah, because actually I don't know if we mentioned that song is actually a cover.
Oh,
It's a cover of it's a cover by this dude named Chico Che,
Oh, okay.
who he wrote that like towards the end of his career, like in the like late 80s or something. But back then, to be a artist of like his kind, to be putting out a song about weed was kind of like weird, I guess.
Yeah.
Like he actually never recorded it or anything. He never recorded
Until
it.
his
and
Stoner
released
son
it.
came along.
Yeah, and then and then his son would play it live because his son was more of a like
A rebel.
yeah, he was more of a brasquache than him. So he went out and he kind of popularized it, and then we decided to cover it. And since us and Tropa Mágica are both like big fans of Chico Che, like we decided to do it together.
Oh, that's cool. So how did you work that
Yeah.
out? How do you do a collaboration between two full bands?
There's different ways you could do it.
Or
What
how'd
we
you
did
guys
is
do it? Yeah.
what we did is we recorded the whole song over there with Sam Pira,
Mhm.
and then just sent them the song, and they recorded their part of the vocals over there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Huh.
pretty simple. but-
Technology.
Yeah, technology. No.
Exactly.
I was, honestly, I was curious on like how did you figure out who played who? But you guys just went in, laid down all the instrumentation and some vocals, and then you're like, hey, this is what we did. Just send us your vocals and we'll mix it in.
Yeah, basically like when people pay for like Drake to do a feature, that's what they do.
Yeah, that's what they did. They paid Drake to sit in his private studio at his mansion to spit
Yeah.
like a quick 16 for that quick 50K. Yeah.
Yeah, nah, we know these guys for a bit. I think me and Handro kind of like we were talking about remaking the song, and we thought that they were a good pair because we like have like the same kind of feeling towards Chico Che and that style.
Similar
So
interests.
Yeah, similar interests and shit. And so Andro kind of he helps the arrangements a lot. So like he does most of the arrangements. So he kind of started developing what we were gonna do, and then we split the vocals. We played a little different live, but the way it was arranged was more for the listening experience.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a badass song. I love I was talking to Alex, your management. Like I was just like, I don't care if they demonetize everything I put out with this song. I want to play this song on my show because this fucking song knocks. And it's just, I just love what you guys are doing. And I don't know who's, I think it was Alex who actually dropped your guys' link in my, because I put something up on Facebook. I was like, hey, any of the homies got any new music out? Look, drop a link. I did one of those posts. And this was one of the posts, and I just fell in love immediately. Like, this is, oh my God. So, yeah, I reached out to Alex, and definitely. And then it turns out that we, like, kind of know each other, and I've been to your house, Carlos. and that's kind of weird, but, you know, I mean, it's a small world, a small community. Oh, my. So you guys.
As long as you didn't wake up next to him, it's cool.
No, I did wake up next to it. But now, Carlos, you have some background in theater, right? Like you do acting. Is that true?
Yeah. I started. I mean, I do a lot of art forms. You know, like I said earlier, like I'm always collaborating in the arts. But my first art form was theater. I did a lot of theater. Then Andro's also done some music directing for theater.
Oh,
Mario's also done a little bit of theater with me. So I've kind of pulled people in and kind of share that art form. But yeah, I did theater with Teatro Campesino a couple years. Some theater in San Jose, Teatro Visión. Right here in Salinas, I did some theater at Western Stage. So yeah, I do acting, man. I also do some sketches every now and then with El Gordo Mamon. I don't know if anybody wants to check him out, but he's a fun dude. We do some sketches where I play some characters.
Dude, we're gonna watch some of that when we're done talking. We're gonna watch some of those videos. What's it called again, please?
El Gordo Mamon.
El Gordo, like the fat man.
The fat.
Yeah.
Mamon.
And then what's the last word?
Mamon. You're getting demonetized for shares, bro. Like,
dude, I because when we're done with the interview, I was gonna play Mata de Mota, and then maybe we might just keep streaming and just watch some sketches by Carlos and his homeboy El Gordo. So with the acting, is that something that you guys have all like really taken to? I mean, because for me that's fucking scary as shit. I did some improv classes, but like acting, I don't know about that shit. That's scary to me.
Once you get used to it, man. I mean, it's like being on stage.
Yeah.
I mean, I did it for a while. I kind of studied it and went that route for a little bit, but I recommend everybody dabbles in it. Like, you know, Mario's done it. Andro did some musical directing. It gets you comfortable. It gets you comfortable with like performing in front of a lot of people. Yeah. And it just kind of keeps your instinct up, you know, like your chops.
Right. But it just seems so like vulnerable. Like with music, you're sort of up there with your homies, you know, it can be, or you're at least you can hide behind the music, right? But like, I feel like on stage, you're like putting it all out there, and it's just you and your other actors, and it's those lights, and it's go. You know what I mean? There's no hiding. And I suppose you could make the case that you hide behind the
exactly, hide behind the character.
Right.
Yeah, you hide behind the personality.
But I just don't see that.
That's the hard part.
Yeah, exactly. I don't see that differentiation. That doesn't exist for me. It's like, man, I have a really hard time not being me all the time. And so
dude, that's funny.
Please.
That's funny that you say that, because on Wednesday we did another interview with this dude who's a comedian, and he was telling us kind of the same thing. He was like, yeah, dude, I imagine like it's probably way harder like being like super fucked up or something, and then like performing like a musician because you don't have like. And I was like, nah, man, you're a comedian. That's like the hardest, like
that's the hardest ever, bro.
That's the most nerve-wracking like performance, because you're just by yourself.
That's it.
Like you don't have nobody, bro. Like you fuck up, nobody laughs. Like you're just. Like no one's gonna save you. Like
nobody. You're just up there eating shit until your time is up, and then you go home and cry.
Man.
My wife has been getting into acting, and well, she is into acting. She actually, she's been doing really well with it, and it kind of inspired me to do improv, and the improv has been that to me. Was like a great balance, because I knew that like acting, I feel like will get me a little bit more out of my shell, but it's just too much. I don't want to leave who I am, but I feel like I could kind of stay in myself with improv, even though you can play characters and do sketches and stuff like that. I still felt like I was able to sort of maintain who I am, at the core. And I know, listen, I'm sure as a good actor or any actor can maintain some piece of them within every character and stuff. I don't know about that shit. I'm just saying what I know about me. But what improv did on an amazing level was it made it possible for me to really react and really be in a moment with somebody and hold the conversation, and truly react and truly be in the moment with somebody so I can, so we can have a conversation and do this. So it helped me in my communication, and it helped me in being able to just be a better listener. I don't know. Did you guys get that similar thing from acting? Do you guys sort of agree? Do you agree with that? I mean, does that apply?
Yeah, for sure. Like doing like.
Well, yeah,
I go for it.
I teach theater, so yeah, I think any type of acting helps you break out of your shell, like just for public speaking sake,
Mm-hmm.
It helps.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just gonna say like, well, I was just gonna say because I did like. I did a little bit of acting, but when I did musical directing with Teatro Campesino, so like it made me think of music in a completely different way, because you're not writing songs, you're not performing like on stage like that, you're scoring a story, so like it's just another avenue that makes you think differently.
Yeah.
And when you open your mind to different forms of creativity, like you ultimately become a more creative person. So like I think anything, like if you're gonna like learn new disciplines and new skills, like learn as much as you can, because like it's only gonna make you better. You can't get worse.
Yeah, get that toolbox filled up with all the tools that may help you.
Absolutely. You gotta get outside of that fear of being vulnerable, like that fear of not being accepted. It's just like you have to get past that if you want to truly tap into your truest form of performance. That's what I've found for, music and even this, like I really truly had to become very comfortable with myself to be able to just talk to complete strangers and just, hey, let's talk about like some real serious shit now, and then we'll change topics and do something fun, so it's like, you gotta, it's just work. So
breaks you out of your shell, trying different art forms. I mean, Mario be doing pole dancing and stuff,
Yeah, that really shaped them as a.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell. I mean, with those shades, man, those shades.
Yeah, I mean, you can't see my ass right now because I'm sitting down.
Shut up. It's always weird to me, or not weird, but it's like it's kind of confounding to me how you can put sound to images, and I guess I'm referencing how you write music or scoring music. How do you go about putting the correct frequency to the right mood of what's going on stage? How do you sort of hear? How do you hear that? How do you perceive what goes where?
That's a really good question, because it's really tough, and that's something that I hell struggled with. But I think it comes down to two things. Like in music, there's mathematical ways that you can create moods. So like there's like majors and minors and sevenths, and those are all different types of moods, and and then there's modalities and all that, so you start with the moods, but then the different kinds of instrumentation that you have says something different about the character or the story or whatever. What I found is like trying to score something entirely with a guitar is really difficult because you're limited to just that. But then when you're trying to score shit with like keyboards and everything, like honestly, like any type of keyboard, like that's your most open like plane, so like
gives you more textures.
For sure.
The more textures of the instrumentation that you have, then the better it is. But you have to also have an understanding of how to create moods. So like musically, if you create those moods, then you're good. And then once you have the tools to create them, then boom, that's you have it. And then you have badass musicians behind you who could help you. Like that makes
that
it
helps
better.
a lot too. But
a lot.
But I'm just curious, and like, I don't know if there's an example that you can kind of pull out of thin air or whatever. But like how do you like? Because like I've tried to do it, just do exercises where I like I'll just go and just get a clip off of YouTube and just download it, take the sound off of it, and just try to make something that fit. And I'm just like, I just get in this really confused state. Like, you know, I don't know, where do you start? What's the first thing that you do when you're approaching, like, I need this music for this scene? Like, what's the first thing that you do?
Dude, that's hard.
As a pole dancer, or go ahead, I'm
What, are you gonna say something, real?
If it's not about pole dancing, Mario, I don't want to hear it.
It's not relevant. Well, I don't know. I start with just like a chord that I'm comfortable with. Like fucking, I always like if it's something sad, all right, I'm gonna start playing A minor, and then I'm gonna try to come up with like some little progression, and then I'm gonna try to do it like follow, you know, the way that people are speaking or the way that the image is moving, you know, has a cadence and it has a groove. So you have to try to match it to the best of your ability. So like I would start with like finding like a progression or some kind of chord structure, or decide if you don't want a chord structure, you just want to kind of like hover on like chords or something, and then try to match the cadence of what's happening, because obviously you don't want to be playing something super fast and then what you're seeing doesn't reflect it. So
you can there's different ways also. Like if you know music really well, you can kind of find the notes, like Anna was saying, and the tone structures. But say you're not like very like well read in music, you can also go by feeling, you know, like think about what that scene is doing, what's happening, what's the energy of what's going on. And then say like if it's tense or sad, then look for the sound that best relates to that emotion. Like, how does that sound make you feel? And 9 out of 10, we're humans, you know, so we all kind of have similar emotions, just different triggers. But if you could find something that relates sound-wise to how you're feeling, you connect it, you know, by feeling.
Yeah.
Right now.
And when you're doing like theater, like hopefully you're lucky enough to have a director who can tell you what they want, like who can tell you, okay, so in this scene, I want it to be like indigenous, like something. But, you know, and you have
I want it to sound rainbow.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that.
Hopefully you have someone who could like explain it to you like clearly, and you could be like, all right, I know what you're talking about, and like not just like.
But that doesn't always happen. Yeah.
No, sometimes you have something hella abstract, or you have people who are just like fucking just put music on it.
Music's fine. Yeah, great music. Oh, okay.
Just get a flute, a thing, a bucket, sound. Yeah,
just start doing shit, bro. It's cool. You guys, I really appreciate you guys coming on the show, and then, you know,
thanks, bro.
I really enjoy what you guys are doing, and I really enjoy. I enjoy the visuals. Like, what's the one? Oh my god, the one where she's getting dressed and she's the hot
high
chick.
class.
High class, yeah. Like I love the visuals. I love what you guys are doing. I'm excited to see what happens after all the chaos and the sickness is gone, and we can.
We all are, bro.
Yeah, right. We're all just holding on tight. Woo, man. I'm curious. Have you guys? Has there been any commotion in Salinas? I know Salinas is a little smaller city, but I mean, you know, they get rowdy in Salinas. Have you guys had any commotion or any protests, peaceful protests, anything?
Luckily, there's been a good amount of just completely peaceful protests. People kind of just marching around Old Town. Like they blocked off the street and stuff, but everything respectful. Everything like. Nothing crazy. Nobody's out here trying to tear the town down and bullshit.
Salinas is a pretty strong community. You know, we have a lot of good people that advocate for their community, so it kind of helps keep it all together. You know, peaceful.
Yeah. That's so important, man. It's so important.
And it's good because Salinas actually, like, growing up, like, you know, Salinas has a stigma of like violence and like all this bullshit, and when you see like what's happening in the country right now, and how Salinas is not reflecting all that violence and all that stuff, it goes to show like the real like people, like, and how that stigma is not real. You know?
Well, yeah, and even I just said I know Salinas gets rowdy. You know, like that's just. I mean, I've never witnessed. I mean, other than at Casa Sorrento at like 1:30 in the morning.
Oh yeah, that's a completely different story.
I was there that time.
Probably it was probably you.
Yeah.
I know there was someone pole
I
dancing
was
in the
pole
back.
dancing. I wasn't doing anything bad.
It was non-violent.
Yeah.
Non-violent action.
No, man. Like I said, Central Valley gets a tough rap. Central Valley in general, and I'm not saying that I've always had kind words about that part of the country, but the one thing that I do say that about Central Valley is that I love the people. It's the people. It's like you might be smelling like cesspools and it might be a little dusty and stuff, but man, like the people are cool and they're genuine people, and that's what I love about like Central Valley is that it's the people, man. The people is why I go back to these places. Because man, some of those towns, I hate to shit on it, guys. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to shit on your towns or anything, but it just is not for me. That's all I'm saying. It's not for this guy.
It's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
For sure.
But I have a good time every time I go there. So it's not like I've had this horrible experience in Central Valley. It's just hot. I just don't like hot.
Yeah, I mean, everybody gets their own liking and their own weather that they like. But here, I mean, it's a beautiful place. We've traveled different places, and I mean, there's a lot of places that I enjoy too.
Yeah.
Our community is cool.
Not to be biased, but Salinas has the best weather in the world.
Really?
Wow. Yeah, because we have the calmest weather. Like we don't have our extreme seasons are not extreme. Like it doesn't snow. It never gets like crazy. It never gets to like. It rarely gets to like 100. Right now with climate change and shit, yeah, it's starting to get more hot. But it never gets like over 100 degrees. It never gets like below fucking super cold. Like it's always moderate. It's always moderate calm.
Don't go telling them that. They're gonna want to come live here, bro.
Oh, never mind. It sucks.
Gentrification is coming your way now. You just invited them all in. You know what? Those peaceful protests, you're inviting in the rioters is what you're doing. I probably shouldn't have said that. Anyway,
we can edit this.
It was a shitty joke. Anyways, I love you guys. You guys are amazing, and thank you so much for coming on. I truly do appreciate it, and thank you for suffering through this craziness. This is the first time I've done this like this ever. So this to me is this. I had fun. Did you guys have fun?
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's cool, man. It's great. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, okay,
hey,
awesome.
Stay safe out there, man. Everybody.
I'm gonna do my best. Yes, man. Please. Yeah, for sure, man. You guys fucking stay safe, stay strong, and we will talk soon. I'll say. Yeah,
man. Everybody, I was gonna say, everybody out there, support your local artists. Right now it's the time to help support, and also the causes that are going on around you. Try to be a part of that change.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
All right, gentlemen.
I'll play the video game.
You know what? Give me 1 second. Let me see if there's any. Is anybody listening? If they have any questions for the band, drop them in right now. As we're about to wrap up, I'm gonna see if drop some questions if you guys want. Drop it
like it's hot.
You can use the channel points, or I like to call them speaker points, and use them. If you like, we'll give them a few seconds before we sign off and see if anybody is free.
So good. Also, anybody who's interested in the game, man, try to pass it. Show me. I'm not good at video games, so I haven't been able to pass it all the way yet. But if somebody passes it, show me a picture of what it looks like at the end, man.
You've never seen the end of your game?
No,
I'm not good. I'm not very good at video games. I always get stuck at there's this boat level. It's really hard.
There's a boat.
It's because we designed it. Homie designed it like the old school like Super Nintendo games where they're like those games were hard as fuck. You know what I mean? Like so he designed it like that.
That's tight.
It takes skill.
My son will probably want to play that shit. He's all about it. Okay, thank you guys. I super duper appreciate it. You guys have a wonderful day. Rest of your day. Brother. And we're gonna transition back over here, and we're gonna play Mata de Mota by. I'm gonna say it wrong, and you guys can make fun of me. QienSave.
Hey,
QienSave. Okay. Hey, like I said, it's in me, baby. Hasikin. Chikonki right here, baby. All right, gentlemen. Thank you so much. You have a wonderful day. I will talk to you guys soon.
Thank you, bro.
Peace.
Have a good one.
Rush.